Hey guys, what's going on? This is Tommy Oliver, Broken Window TV. I actually just made this video, but I forgot to do audio recording, so it's completely silent. I'm awesome. This is why you test things before you just go for it. Don't be a dummy like me. Okay, so welcome to the first Open Window tutorial. Anybody who may not know, Open Window is a new initiative that I started. It actually sounds a lot more arrogant than it really should be. It's just a thing I thought up of. Yeah, that's a bit better. Something I thought up. Basically promoting the use of completely free and open source software to create professional level creative content. If you want to know more about Open Window, we talked about it a lot in the Broken Window Winter Keynote. So that should be also on Broken Window TV. So if you want to learn more about that, load that up. Today we're going to talk about one of the open source tools that I use for a lot of the content I make on Broken Window. It's called the GIMP. I'm sure a lot of you probably heard of it. It's a pretty popular application. The GIMP is actually an acronym. It stands for the GNU Image Manipulator Program. It's a free and open source multi-platform image editor. So what that means, it's free. It's completely open for anyone to actually modify the source code. That's what open source pretty much means. Multi-platform, which means it's on every platform. So it's on Windows, it's on Mac OS, as you can see. It's also on Linux. I believe it's also on like really crazy things like Solaris or something. Or I might be thinking of another one. I don't know. It's on Linux. It's on all three. The three of the big ones are covered. I believe it started on Linux. Most of these open source applications usually do. What's nice is that it doesn't matter, what computer you run, what OS it runs, you can use this application, which is nice. But the GIMP is an image editor, akin to like Photoshop. It pretty much is a free version of Photoshop. The UI is pretty similar. There are some differences, which we'll go over in future videos. The GIMP was created in 1995, so it's had a lot of time to mature, a lot of time to accumulate a vast user base. So it's very popular. There's a huge community of users, lots of active forums. If you have specific questions that aren't covered in this or any other tutorial you might stumble upon, there's a lot of resources, and there's tons of plugins that further enhance the functionality of the application. Like Photoshop and pretty much any other image editor, it is like a multi-purpose application. So it's good for both content creation and content editing. Photo manipulation, design, and illustration. It dabbles in a little bit of everything, but doesn't really focus on any one aspect in particular. So if you only want to get one application and have it do everything, the GIMP's probably what you're looking for. That being said, however, these tutorials will probably focus mostly on using the GIMP for illustration and design because that's what I do. Photo manipulation is not really my thing. I'd love to learn how to do it. I don't really know how to do it that well right now, so me doing a tutorial on it would be pretty horrible. So we're going to stay away from that. Illustration and design, though, I'm not going to say I'm the best, not going to say I'm great, but I'm pretty competent, so I can guide you through the basics of that, no problem. With that being said, though, this particular tutorial is actually not going to really delve into even any of that. The first thing I wanted to do is kind of go over the UI, because anyone who's never used an application like this, it's what are all these buttons? Holy crap, there's tons of stuff going on. So I figured I'd start with that and just kind of explain away the confusion of the user interface. So when we do start doing like some creative things with it, you'll have a bit more of understanding of what I'm doing and where everything's located. I figured that'd be a bit easier. There are three main things I really want to go over. The windows, some shortcuts. I keep doing that. I should probably disable that for my next video. Turn off the Windows switching on Mac OS X. The three things I want to go over are the windows in the application, so and what they do, the shortcuts you can use to kind of speed up your workflow, and how that kind of works with going full screen, which I'll show you in a few minutes. So let's start with the windows. Unlike a lot of other applications you probably used, the GIMP is not a single window. You can see that this is separate from that, which is separate from that. Off-putting to new users, I was definitely weirded out by it. I've since kind of gotten used to it and kind of like it. Everything is separate, so you can kind of scale and move things around as you please. You can kind of customize the UI to flow a little bit more towards how you like it. I usually keep it pretty close to stock just because I put a lot of time into designing the application and it works pretty well. But it's totally changeable if you want. You can make this like really small. These little tangent handles right here allow you to, move the way the application flows and stuff. There are three main windows, as you can obviously tell. I'm sure you can count to three. You can see all three of them here. They all serve different functions, but they all work together. Obviously, it's one application. So we're going to go over those now. The first one that I keep clicking on and dragging around is called the canvas. It's aptly named because it holds your content. So you can see down here, we can zoom in to a bunch of different levels on the canvas. Right now we're at 25%. We can go smaller to 12.5. We can go all the way up to 800 and get really obnoxiously big. Everything gets all pixelated because the resolution on this image isn't that high. We're not limited to what we type in here. We can type in like random numbers. You can see 78's up here from the last time I did this video. That was my example. So we can type in whatever. Let's type in 79 to be obnoxious. So we can zoom in 1 more percent if you really want to get that fine-tuned. But you can type really anything in here. I don't think it goes to over 9,000, but oh, it does go to over 9,000. Look at that. So if you want to get like stupid obnoxiously zoomed in, you can. But I hope that stays there. That'll be awesome. Someone will pick up my computer and be like, it's over 9,000! But yeah, I learned something. I think Photoshop doesn't go that high. I think it caps out at like 3,600% or something. Yeah, it's nice and flexible. Obviously, it goes to 9,000%. So you can really zoom in and out of your work. You can see when you zoom in pretty big, you do get these handles up here, allow you to move around the image, which is nice. Another nice way is if you hold down the shift button, the space bar, you can drag around with your mouse, which is nice too. Easy way to just move around the image, especially if you want to do like small, precise adjustments to your view. Next thing here is going to tell you when you're not in the window. It's going to give you a little hint about your tool. Right now I'm using the pencil tool, so it's going to give you some shortcuts that we'll go into in a second. But if you're on the window itself, it's going to tell you what layer you're in, which we'll also get into, and the image size. Over here, you can adjust your rulers. So what are the rulers? Let's zoom out a bit and get a better view of them. The rulers are right here, and these are measurements of your image. So right now it's set to inches, so it's going to tell me right now from here to here is 1 inch. So I can see this image is pretty small. This is actually the final output of Act 2 Scene 9 that I uploaded to brokenwindowstudios.com, so I scale it down so it'll load quicker on the web. The original's a lot bigger. But you can see right now, I think it's like 3, maybe about 3 inches by I think 4.5. So pretty tiny. You can change those rulers down here. I can change them to pixels. So now you can see I think it's like this one's like 800 by 1300. I can change to millimeters. So if you're in Europe and you're weird, actually we're the weird ones, but if you're weird to me, you can use millimeters. Points, picas, centimeters, meters, feet, yards. If you really want to make a really giant image, make sure you have a good computer though. But yeah, it's pretty flexible. You can change to really whatever you want. Picas and points are probably not going to use unless you're really doing some complicated professional level graphic design stuff. I'm in graphic design. I don't mess with picas all that much. Then again, I do most of my stuff on the web. Picas and points are more useful for print. But again, I'm filling your minds with useless information you're probably not ever going to use. So that's the canvas window. That's the big deal of it. It holds your content, allows you to draw and do other stuff in here. You also have a crap load of options up here in all these menus. We'll go into those in later videos. I really don't want to bog down this one with explaining each individual thing here.